for a great team working. All right, so if you haven't already done so, and playing in D, you find in old-time folks that played a lot of dance tunes in D, they would have their lowest string run from G up to D, up to A, I mean. So I'm going to do that myself. But if you haven't done that, try to get that up to A while I'm talking. And I'm going to talk a little more about it while I'm trying to focus on these kind of tunes. But if you listen to some of the old timers from around the Blue Ridge, a lot of them didn't know the standard violin tuning, except for certain tunes like G tunes. But for D tunes, they would often have this string run up, but you don't have to. Just you get some advantages with being able to catch the bow over on it and get some of the drones going that you wouldn't be getting if you had the string down in G. So anyway, my past is more as a banjo player when it comes to dancing and playing at festivals for flat-footers. And around Floyd, we have a strong tradition in dancing. You've heard of the Floyd Country Store, and I've played up there the most of anywhere, all put together. And I played a lot of banjo in the beginning, back when they first got going in the 80s and 90s. But I want to just show you what the basic thing I caught from listening to the dancers dancing. And they had a kind of a cadence going that just went right along with the basic banjo. You just if you do clogging, that's kind of something they teach you, the basic clogging step, step, shuffle. And in the banjo, you just go. Get that little push going as we play. And I took that on and put it in what I do with the fiddle, kind of. But I just let you listen, and I'll get Hannah to help me in a little while. But on the fiddle, it matches right up with that rhythm on the banjo. If you didn't do anything else, you just kind of could keep your bow going in a rhythmic way, and the dancers would pull you along, or you would push them along. But just it's amazing sometimes when you get a crowd that's got a lot of energy, how you both kind of get on this wavelength with what you're doing, dancing or playing a banjo or a fiddle. And it can just kind of be a great big sound that comes from everybody on the same beat and getting that sort of a mechanical energy kind of going. So yeah, I got three or four tunes here picked out, and I sent you all some tab by way of Allie, which you don't need to have tab necessarily, but it's just a way I teach jam kids, and it helps them to sort of see what's going on in the bowing. If Allie would put up Shooting Creek for me, I'll just show you how I show those jam kids things, and then maybe you can see that and see me at the same time if we can split the screen on it. That was one of the things we were working on. But anyway, when I have a tab like this, I basically have 4 beats. And if you know about tab, it's not like music exactly. It's kind of flowing through time. Each of those lines represents a string on your fiddle. So this mirror image thing, I'm not sure which, but anyway, the very top line represents your E string. If you just kind of flip your fiddle up and look at it yourself, that's kind of what it's looking like. If you just sort of took a view, the E string would be the top line, and the A string the second line, D string, and on down to your lower string, which now should be up to an A to get the most advantage of the fiddle while you're playing these tunes. And but anyway, those little vertical lines are separate beats. So, and then the line that's above the staff, so to speak, that's going down and then up is representing the bow down and the bow up, and then the little hash looking down up things are shuffles, like a down and short means they don't have a tail on them. Yeah, they're just kind of like that. Thank you, Ellie. So if I was just play that top line, so I'm going from, and the numbers on this on the lines represent your fingers. So first finger number 1, second finger number 2, third finger number 3, and your pinky number 4. So if you've been taking fiddles, you pretty much know where to put your fingers. You know, kids, they put the little white marks on the fingerboards for them so they can see it. And as you get where you don't need those, you should take them on off. And then you kind of listen to the spots. And getting started, I usually teach people to find that third finger place on your fiddle staff. Maybe hand the track. Pin that down a little bit so you can see my. Yes, okay, I don't know how to, yeah, great.
Okay.
Good help there. So anyway, finding that place on the A string that matches the octave on your D string is a good thing to do. So those two middle strings together and get to where you know exactly where your third finger sounds the best. A little back and forth, kind of zero it in. And then you've got kind of a grip going that you can kind of maintain. And when you pick that finger up and put it back down, it's going to be in tune. And most likely when you lay your first finger down, it'll be in tune. And you can switch to another string straight across. They should be pretty true notes. And I'm sure y'all kind of figured that out by now. But anyway, back to the bowing part. This tune called Shooting Creek is one of our local tunes up here that's played rather fast for flat-foot dancing. They like it pretty peppy. But we're going to learn it kind of slow. And each of these lines is a good little exercise that all added up together will make the complete A part and B part of this tune. It's kind of a short tune, and I put a kind of an option in there down about the third line where if you came into that, if you were going to repeat the A part with a push, that would be a way to visualize how the finger and the bow action would go if you're coming into a push. And some of these lines at the end of the line, it should kind of flow across to the next line with the bow direction, and then the next line would be the opposite direction. This one I wrote the A part, and at the end I said repeat only, and I just meant go back to the very first of line 1. But if you do the push bow option, that'd be where you're starting with the push. But in general, I like to tell people to start with a down bow. I went and visited Tommy Carroll one time, and one thing I left there knowing was he recommended people pull the bow. He said he had a lot of young people come to him, and they were starting with the push, and he didn't think that was good practice in playing his style. And but other fiddlers, great fiddlers, could start with the push and do fine. So it's sort of what works for you. But you're going to find as you get better at fiddling, you're going to either leave out a shuffle or add one, and then you're going to come into a spot where your bow is here at the end of the line, and then all you got to go play the melody that you know in your mind. You can try to figure it out by going the other direction, and your shuffles. If you can do this basic shuffle stuff, then you've got that. You can shuffle either way, and you can play long notes either way. So you're sort of flexible because of that skill. And if nothing else, just be able to count the however much, like 1, 2, 3, 4, get that really smooth with a count. And in these lines on this tab, at 4 beats at a time is what it is. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the 4, in general, I have written most of them to where the bow is up. There's some exceptions. And then sometimes I keep on going with what I figured out and written till I get to the end of the 8th beat, and then I'm back on track to either repeat or go to the next part from B back to A, or from A on to B. So A being usually the high part and B is usually a lower part, but that's not necessarily always the case. It's just some people refer to them as high parts and low parts. And you didn't hear anybody from the old world talk about A parts and B parts. That's kind of a more modern thing, but it helps us understand it sometimes when we're trying to teach. All right, so I put my 3rd finger on my E string and got my bow going down. Then I gotta be putting my finger on my 1st finger down, then do a slur. So I'm going, and I'm going to go forward. So I'm going to start it over again. Shuffle. All right, I went with extra shuffle there, which I should have lingered to do it as I wrote it. All right, let me try it again. I'm going to linger on that last 8th beat with that long bow. And if I got a banjo player, they would just kind of carry the beat forward for me. It's kind of a restful thing sometimes to have those long notes that go on out to the end of the count, and then you come in with your reverse direction and right on the beat, like back to the beginning. All right, so at the beginning of the A part again, shuffle. All right in there on the 2nd line is a little place that's a little squirrely with that slur on the up bow. 2nd beat over from the left. Yeah. And then I got 3-1. That's a little dip in the bow. And then this thing with the is a bow rock, that 0 to 3 with the little angle above it. And shuffle 1 and 3 for the shuffle. It's just something that's writing out what I'm doing. I'll just do it up to speed a little bit. So that's just shows you in a visual way what I'm doing. If you can just memorize that by watching me play, that's fine too. On that push bow option, I'm just, instead of going down, I'm going up now, and I'm going, I didn't do any slur. Let's see. In the 4th line, I kind of changed it over the 3rd line, but they're basically just pretty close to being the same thing. But by going with that, I left a shuffle out there about 3rd beat over, and it changed the bow direction where I could go back to the A part with a down bow, or I could go forward with the push bow if I was to go and do that long thing. I'm just trying to get my bow up at the end of the line in general. But let's see, go to the beat part for a minute. So the beat part, I'm kind of superimposing things over this beat. So if I went 1 and 3, that's 1, 3 with a slur on the 1st line of the beat part. Okay. I get 2 notes on that slur, but 1 note each on the down and up. Slur, shuffle. I'm going 1, 3 for the shuffle. But I'm
Hey,
doing
Mac.
the big going right through there.
Hey,
Yeah.
Mac, can you hear me? I'm sorry. Am I supposed to be on this part that says B, or am I up here on this third line?
I'm on the B part. Yeah, don't worry about
Okay.
it. You don't have to really follow me if you don't.
No, I want to. I'm kind of new at this, so I mean, fiddling.
Well, it's like the bouncing ball. I wish I could use my brain to make it go where I'm looking. But anyway, I'm on the B at part 1 and 3 there on the first beat.
Okay.
So the next beat's gonna have the slur down 0 to 1. And I'm on that fourth beat over. Everybody do that? I'm going from 0 on the E string. Then I'm on the last beat of the B part, first line now. Last, yeah, okay, she's blowing it on up there. Yeah, that little bow rock, it was up there on in the first part. Da 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 da. So you change the bow angle. Da 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 da. I use that a lot playing, just because I'm feeling it. And I want to get my bow up at the end of the line there. Let's do that B part first line. Okay, that one is where I do have the bow going down, but I got to go forward with the next line with the push bow. And that corrects me back to where I can repeat the A part with pull. So B part is kind of a short B part. And I say if the push bow is desired, then substitute a shuffle or a long bow. And but it's just if you can learn these lines and you find some's awkward, just add a shuffle in where you think sounds right to you, and it'll put you go back the other way. But that's easier said than done. But you kind of memorize the sound and the bow and the sound. It's very hard getting fiddle, all this stuff coordinated. But once you learn a few tunes and can kind of flow along, and then it gets easier with other tunes. So let's play this tune from the top. Now I just play it slow, and you can play along looking or play along listening, either one. All right, so the top line, A part. And I'll repeat it. All right, that's all the A part, the B part. So you just kind of figure what feels right. And I'd often go along and I say, I want to vary, add a shuffle here or there, or do something restful. Playing for dancers, you get tired and you want to kind of do some long bow slurring things to kind of tide you through, but the band is pushing you along and you can't quit. You got to be ready when the time to start the A part again, and how you're going to do that kind of can just come at a subconscious level. And as long as you kind of know the tune and you can throw it in there, pushing or pulling, and keep it going, it's good to have a partner on the banjo that can help you and you can help them, and then you got something special there. So I often say I'm in the Lucky Daddy Club, having Hannah helping me now.
You need me?
Well, let me play it one more time. All right. Let's play that thing through one time, and then I'll get Hannah to help us. All right. So if I was going to count it off, we usually do a lot of things, the tater thing. And a lot of times I'm trying to catch this chord too. Listen, put two fingers down and listen. If your fiddle's not set up right. Sometimes that chord's pretty awful sounding. But if you're in doubt, just play the one finger. And usually don't have a sour note too bad with one finger down. And you can kind of adjust that if you listen and it doesn't seem like you hit it right. Push it up just a little bit, down, or whichever way. So doing Taylor's, I would just put third finger down. There, I come up at the end of the whole thing, go up, ready to repeat with the pull. All right. Let me get a hand over here to hit a lick on the banjo, and then we'll go on to another lick. I'll slide over a little bit. All right, she's in her special picking chair her boyfriend made out with.
Whoa, yeah. Go tag.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. We left the dancers kind of hanging. We used to putting tags on dance tunes. Just adds on a few more beats for them to wind it up with a big howdy do. Okay. All right, Allie, let's go to Sugar Hill. Sugar Hill might be a little easier. A lot more slur shuffle things going on Sugar Hill. All right. Sugar Hill's a pretty popular tune. Maybe you already have a version of it, but this one works with the basic bowing pretty easily. I'm doing a slur. When I get that next push up, I got a slur on that. Can you show them the tab of that, Allie? Yeah. That was all the first line. It's just note, note, notes. I'm doing slurs to get two notes on a long bow, and then a shuffle to get two notes on each of those bow directions, and then I'm just slurring every long part of the basic long, short, short, short thing. And it works pretty good on this one. And I got the option not to, I could just keep doing long notes if I want. Stuff like that. That's kind of okay for resting. If I want to keep that shuffling going to help to excite the dancers and go along with the regular banjo like Hannah does, that goes right along with that claw hammer lick. Boom, not your cost. see that? Try it. Right across that first line, 8 part. And sometimes, like I say, you can interchange things. I got down there the interchange 3-1 and 3-3. So that second line, let me think about that. It was 3-1. That first. I try to have that where it was interchange. Okay, that's what I meant. I could start the whole tune off either with that, either one. They could be interchanged, is what I was saying. So let's go back to the beginning of that. Then I could do this. And that bow with that slanted arrow just means that you're kind of holding a longer note, then you're doing a little bump to go back up. Like 1. Then can you see that line 3? I wrote bow rock. So line 3. So I didn't write in those little shuffle hash marks. When you want to print that out, and you could put those little things in there, but I wrote a slur. And I meant to put little hash marks for the shuffle between those things. When it doesn't have anything written right over it, it just means a shuffle usually, yeah. Because 2 little notes right together. And then a bow rock at the end would be let's see. Yeah. Down up with a down on 1 and 3 going over. Then I'm going to follow that with a slur, which has a rock in it. So it looks like some people call them bow circles. Now I did kind of a slur on that second one. The first one's on a shuffle, back and forth. And I did a slur, da-da, but I didn't change. That's a good little exercise. Try that, everybody. You got to drop that 3rd finger down when you rock. That's a rock there, too. I'm doing that. I'm changing direction. I guess I'm just kind of not changing. Then I want to do a shuffle right after that. That's a good feeling little lick if you can get that. You end up with your bow up. And I'll see. Let me go back and play that 3rd line. Fourth line. All right, when I got down to the end of that 4th line. So in writing some of this stuff, you can notice patterns as if you're a kind of person who likes to understand patterns, but this does have some pattern in it. But the basic pattern is where I usually get started from. And then I come to the end of phrases, I'll come in with a pattern. And then something to slow it down and finish it off. To be rhythmic, syncopated. That's that little thing with the bows slanted up, and they got a bump. A little shuffle after that is generally followed. But this is slur, shuffle, slur, shuffle, slur, shuffle, slur. Or not just a long note. Doesn't have to be a slur. I think I wrote it with as many slurs as I could get in it. So I get to that ending of the second line, or the end of that phrase. That's kind of halfway through the A part. And I sort of pick up that rhythm again with slurs. And that bow rock. And the end of that fourth line can be a lead-off note that for repeating, because you're going to flow right back into the first beat of the A part. And oftentimes people just do their taters and start out with some extra notes on that last shuffle just before the downbeat of the A part is. So the B part starts with the E string third finger. So I did something to variate that with taking a couple of shuffles out of there. So I'm going pretty straight bowing on the first line. That was all just down, up, that shuffle, basic shuffling all up through that first line. And I'll get to that next line, I'm still on that. Well, I'm gonna break it up and do a push, pull, 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 pull. So that second line, the B part, see if you can do that. So a 3 to 1 sounds like that. Then you got to go up on one. And switch strings. You got to kind of change angle to get that third finger note. And I'm in that angle for the A string. I got to change back to get that last shuffle of that line. Then I'm going to go to the next line down. Bow rock. All right. I think you can just, if you got a patience enough to study that stuff and can understand it. I don't read other people's tab stuff much. I'm just kind of trying to figure out what am I thinking and how can I put it in a visual way, and seems like it helps the kids. I'll help anyway, but you don't want to get it to be a crutch where they whine like they can't play unless they see this. That's not good. You want to kind of do it and put it away and see if you can memorize it. So it's sort of like learning a poem or something. You can read a poem, but you got to memorize it. You got to speak it, or a song. You got to take some time with it and and work to make it come in your mind and be something that you've really learned. All right, Hannah, come on back. Let's play a little Sugar Hill with the banjos. The banjo helps me because it gives me kind of a metronome thing that.
Yes, and hey, it sounds good, Mac, when you and Hannah play kind of like not too fast.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, when you speed up, you know, the internet just can't keep up with your amazingness.
Oh, we're freezing up on
Which
you,
is really sad because I've experienced you guys in real life and it is amazing.
So the beat won't come through the internet very well, huh?
No, but if you play kind of slow to mid tempo, we can catch it.
All right. Okay, it's just, you need a bigger pipeline out there, so bigger internet. All right, so remember I'm going to start down and Hannah's, we're all kind of doing our emphasis going down on the banjo and down on the fiddle. But you want to be able to have energy and power going back up if you need it. So you want to be learning to keep that pressure kind of where you can control it and can emphasize some things. So when Hannah's doing a chop on the banjo, I might be doing a shuffle, or I can feel something from it.
That's good. Keep your fingers up where we can see them, Mac.
Yeah, good. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks.
you.
Welcome. It's funny over. Oh, funny.
Hey, Mac,
Okay.
I had a suggestion from somebody out there, which is
Okay.
that would you and Hannah mind with the next tune you're going to teach? What if you played it for us first and then break it down? Is that possible?
Yeah, we'll do it here.
Okay, just to
All
switch
right.
it up a little bit.
Sure.
All right, don't show me any tabs yet.
Okay, I won't. We'll just watch and listen first.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we're gonna go to one Hannah showed yesterday in the banjo workshop. Maybe some of those folks are here today. I'm not sure, but anyway, Rock the Cradle Joe was one she showed on the banjo. Play a little on the
Yeah,
banjo.
I see a banjo player right there, huh? So I'll try to keep it slow.
I'll catch your foot to what you hear. Oh,
Okay.
that's good.
All right.
All right. All right. So, it's got a beat we have. Okay. That was hard for us to play that slow.
Yeah. Hopefully it's coming through the sound
Yeah.
better. Okay, great.
Anyway, this is big energy release playing for dancing. You kind of can get out there and give it as fast as you want, and they don't care. But you don't want to play so fast that you're missing the beat. You always got to keep that downbeat, something that you can feel. In playing with bands, the bass, with playing with kids, I try to emphasize the beat to them, and just get a bass, and I just hit a note on the bass and get them to play something in between the notes on the bass, so they're getting a downbeat, and then they're hitting strumming their banjos, or they can do I hit the bass, shuffle, bass, shuffle, get them to shuffle between the bass notes, just because that's kind of the basic pattern we're getting is boom, shaka, boom, keep that rhythm going. And that's what, when it gets fast enough to dance to, that's kind of what's the underlying thing in dance music, in the traditional mountain style clogging and flat-footed dancing. All right, let's see. We can take a look at this one and break it down some. All right. You can see over there to the left of the first 8-part line, I got these two little, a 1 and a 2 in parentheses, just right before the third finger beat starts with a down bow. And that's often how you can start tunes with a little grace note. That's exactly where it is, right there where the cursor is. So if you went on the E string, then the beat starts on the third finger. So I'm just kind of putting a shuffle in right before the beat. So if I was, say, doing my taters, 2, 3, 4, I take the shuffles out of that last tater and put it into these little notes that kind of lead up into that third finger note. And I guess they call them grace notes, lead-in notes, but it kind of just starts the tune off with a little da-da. If you had a band, everybody would start on that main beat would be a cool way to start a tune. But most time playing for dance, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, take the taters out of that last, take the shovels up, out of that last tater and put them into the beginning of the tune. You need to still, you're playing them, but you're putting notes on them. And then that's going to lead you right into this third finger beginning of the tune. So just look at it like you're using those that last shuffle to employ to get your tune started. And as you come around playing through the A part, you can take that same shuffle with notes, fingers involved, left-hand fingers involved, and repeat your tune, and it keeps kind of tying the end of the tune back to the beginning of the tune, make a sort of a cycle. All right, let me go across that first line. That one's not too hard. Everybody slur, shuffle. Yeah, just kind of a little pattern there with left hand and right hand working together with the basic bowing. And you're using the slurs to kind of get a little more melody in there. And I guess I've taught my kids to do this slur followed by a shuffle to get some detail in there. But somebody really, really ranked beginner, you might just but then if you've gotten that experience, you can start to see how you can use that shuffle to add another melody note. Right there, just like we started the tune. And if I go to the next line, I'm through. And I'm going to break off of this pattern and go into this long, 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 but long. So that's coming around again when I get to the end of the line before I repeat it or go forward. Let's go back and play that first line. On the second line. And the third line has a slur. I could make that even fancier if I tried. That's pretty basic. You don't want to get so notey, but it's kind of up to you and how you can do it. You can think of ways to turn some of these shuffles that have the same finger into ones that have different fingers on different parts of the shuffle and embellish, I guess is the word for it. So down at the end of that line 4, I had that 1 and 2 on the E string on that shuffle, last shuffle to use to repeat. But then going to B, I would go down on the A string with a 2-to-1 shuffle. So let me play that last line of the A part and then go right into the B part. See, second line. To B. So I kind of had a more relaxing pattern on the B part, as you can see, a lot more long bow things. 1, 2, shuffle, 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 slur, shuffle. And at the end of that, I can do my last shuffle to repeat and go to A, or do it on the A string with the 2-to-1 to repeat the B, and just go through the tune, and you'll sort of get the melody in your mind, and you'll see interchanging those last 2 shuffles doesn't work right. You want to play that one that's repeating A back to go forward to B, and it sounds better the other way, in my opinion. Let's try the B part. It's probably easier than the A part. Everybody good with that? And second line of the B part. You just kind of memorize da, da, da. What it is, it's like instead of 2 quarter notes, it's 3 quarter notes going on that. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. So every little beat can be divided into 4 or 2, and that's how we come up with these patterns. And the basic pattern, we're getting 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I get to that thing where I'm pushing up 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. I can hardly do it and count at the same time. But that's kind of a mechanical thing. Really get down to some of this stuff in with dancing, like flat-foot dancers, they're playing with this kind of cadence going on, and they can variate that. But they're a real good dancer. They know where that beat is at all times, and they can emphasize this part or that part. And the same thing with us playing the fiddle. Just kind of need to be aware of where the beat is and how fast, and keep it steady. Hannah and I tend to speed up. We're trying to push the beat, and sometimes if we don't have a bass or somebody that holds us back, then we kind of get on up, and we're faster than we started, and that's really not good. You want to kind of be in control of that some, but you just got to be aware of it, and then you can kind of hold yourself back if you're got that tendency to rush things. But if you get up and the beat's there and it's steady, then you can play fast but not sound like you're rushing. You can feel a beat through it. So I was play a little faster on the B part. And that's just one way to play the B part. I could start changing what I've got here to have more shuffles in it, and see what comes out with the way the bow would end up at the end of the line. And let's see if I just kind of randomly add some shuffles in there. I had to go da 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 to get my bow back up. It came to a down bow. When I did what I wrote, I'd be coming up with a up bow and do something different. And that little shuffle to keep my bow up. If I just added one shuffle, let's see. No, that worked. Let's see. Maybe I added 2 and didn't remember. So learning how to deal with the end of the phrases, that's where no matter, you don't have to be consciously thinking this stuff out, as long as you kind of know at the end of the phrase, oh, okay, my bow's this way now. You know, da, and do what that takes to get back up where the next beat starts. And that's the way to deal with that, coming into it, da, da, da. But it's the other way. I had to go boom, 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 put a little bump in it, and then my bow's up. And free to start a down bow sequence of playing. I don't like to play starting with the push, as I mentioned before, but I could, at my experience with doing the regular country bowing, I can deal with it, because I can go in and just start shuffling and playing. As long as I kind of know the general melody, add a shuffle, and then whatever comes out at the end of the phrase, I can feel that coming and either do this long push back up or come into a da da da, and I'm back, and then I'm kind of back to my comfort level of playing with down bow coming in just on the front of the beat like that. All right. Let me go through that tune one more time. Get Hannah up here. And we'll try it with the banjo again. All right, go back to A part. I don't see how I'd change that. You could do little slurs and things, just where some of those long notes. I did a slur 3 to 4. Now, I might not do that every time, but if I wanted to have a little more fun or change it up so I'm not feeling like I'm doing it the same way all the time. But the basic thing is all right, I'm going to go real slow and y'all see if you can get on board with it. All right, 1, 2, 3. I meant to, if I'm going to do short, 2, 3, 4. And that's where that little shuffle to begin starts. 1, 2, 3, 4. B part. Repeat it. All right. I think just get that down where you can get every exact bow as I wrote it on each line, or just practice one line at a time over and over and get it to where you can do it without looking at anything and memorize it and add another line, 4 beats to it. I just like to think in groups of 4 on tunes like this, because usually there's like 16 beats in an A part and 16 in a B part. Some tunes only have 8 in one part, and some are just 1 part tunes. Like, well, we didn't do any 1 part tunes, but there are ones out there that are just less to even have to worry about remembering than these are. But these have good melodies, and once you get them where you can play them, you can find somebody that can keep your backbeat just playing a guitar rhythm. That's nice to practice with, and then you have a good sounding combination. Hannah,
does anybody have any questions for Mac before we get ready for Hannah's workshop?
Get close to the end of it. Yeah, be glad to repeat something.
Yeah.
Just get back and
Mac had one more tune he tapped out, and I forget what it is, but it's in the collection I sent out in an email recently, and it'll be in the collection that I send coupled with the workshop video too. And what tune was that, Mac? What was that other one?
Carol kind of break down. We'll just play that for you as we go out, and Hannah will stay here and keep going on her workshop.
Right.
All right, Carol Candy Breakdown is kind of a local tune and sounds like some other tunes sometimes. And since I got this low string, I can catch it as a drum. So you can see that 0 on the tab. That's what I'm doing. All right, let's play the B. All right, thank you all so much. Appreciate it.
All right, I guess.
Hey, let's all unmute and give Mac a little praise here.